The slave transfer. Slavery had existed as an institution in Africa for centuries prior to Columbus's arrival in the New World. Europeans enslaved and moved millions of Africans to the Americas to plant and harvest sugarcane in the Caribbean. In the West Indies, Spanish settlers developed plantations, or large estates, to grow tobacco and sugarcane. At first, they used Native American labor. Later, this transitioned to the use of enslaved Africans. Africans were marched to some European forts on the western African coast. Tied together, they were traded, branded, and forced to board ships bound for the Americas. By the late 1500s, slave labor was a key part of the colonial economy. While the slave trade in Africa did not begin with the discovery of the New World, by then the demand for labor in American plantations and the willingness of many African states to cooperate with European slavers led to a great increase. By the mid-1500s, the Spanish and Portuguese were bringing thousands of enslaved people from Africa to the Americas. Europeans saw advantages to using African slaves in the Americas. First, many Africans had been exposed to the European diseases and had stronger immunity. Second, many were already familiar with the type of farm work they were being performing. Finally, slaves from Africa were less likely to escape since they were not familiar with their new surroundings. It is estimated that between 1500 and the year 1600 that over 300,000 slaves had been transferred from Africa. That number swelled to 1.3 million over the next century. By the time the slave trade ended around 1870, the number of transferred from Africa is said to have topped 9.5 million.